Sir.
All right. All right. Can we give Auntie Feko a round of applause? Give her a round of applause. All right. All right. I'm going to nearly follow in her footsteps so that we can tie all the things that we're saying together. Anyone here who wants to be a pilot? Stand up. Okay. Anyone here who wants to be a musician? Stand up. Anyone who wants to be an actor? Stand up. Actor. Movie actor. Anyone who wants to be a footballer? Anyone who wants to be a fashion designer? Is anyone here who wants to be a photographer? Okay. Is anyone here who wants to be a lawyer? Is anyone here who wants to be a broadcaster? Television, radio, broadcaster? Okay. Is there anyone here who wants to be a banker? Banker. Okay. Is there anyone here who wants to be a comedian? Okay, sit down. Sit down. All of you sit down. When I finish, I'll now ask this question again. Many years ago, when I say many years ago, when you say you want to be a comedian, everybody will say, you don't have a job, Jerry. Even my children didn't think that I had a job. Because in 2007, they were at home during a midterm break. And the midterm break started on Wednesday and they were to resume school on Monday. And they were about like 8, 10, 12. And the eldest was 13. And then they noticed that I wasn't going anywhere. In the morning, Madam will go to work. I'll sit in the house, I'm reading in the library, I'm listening to music, I'm writing. First day, Wednesday. Thursday, the same thing. Friday, the same thing. Saturday, the same thing. In the evening of Saturday, I dressed up and went out. On Sunday, I dressed up and went out. And then we took them to school. Then another midterm came. And they noticed the same thing. And the eldest one of them called me and said, Dadadi, that's what they call me. Because when she was small, she was trying to say my daddy, and she couldn't say it well, so she said Dadadi. And that's what all the children called me. So I said, what's up? They said, Daddy, we need to ask you something. I said, what? They said, don't you have work? I said, yes, that I have work. That they said, but you are always at home. I said, I'm a comedian. And they said, no, Daddy, you have to find work. I said, but I'm a comedian. And they said, no, you have to find work because this comedian thing, it looks like you are jobless. So I said, because of that they will not go for summer. You people think I'm jobless. They know summer. And the youngest one said, as if you are the one that will pay. All right, now, the other part of it is that they were not alone. When I said I wanted to become a comedian, I was already in school, and my JAMB cutoff was the Nigerian short code, 234. Got 234. And I heard that they've lowered it to 180. I've been 1 something now. So one day to be 100. Anyway, and I couldn't get into Ekpoma because Ekpoma at the time was rated the best law school in the whole of the country, and so their cutoff was 162 and 262, and they said I should wait, and if my quota in Bendel State was not full, I will be considered for second batch. 234 was good enough for me because I thought I tried. The year that I had that, the highest guy was 310. One of those people that like to show themselves. People are getting 2 something. You want to get 310. What are you? Are you? What is nonsense? Anyway, so my dad said, instead of sit at home, because I've been sitting at home at that time, 1983, 1984, 1985. My dad said, instead of sit at home and go into the university, take a course, you have a good result to enter any course that you want to read, you know. So I entered Bendel State University, Abraka, to read religious studies. And first time that my mom heard I was going to read religious studies, my mom said, "You won't be pastor, Abi?" And then I went to Ekpoma when I wanted to change to law. And so when I got to Ekpoma, and they were telling me, you can't go to year 2 because I'd done 1 year, 85 to 86. So he said, you can't go to year 2, you have to repeat 1 year. I said, okay, wait. So year 1 to 2. So I'm supposed to go to year 2 now. So when my mates are going to year 3 and have just 1 year to pass out, I'll now come to year 1 and start. And then I said, okay, let me just finish this course, get that degree, then come and take year 2 direct entry. I didn't tell my dad, so I did that. My dad heard that I didn't change to law, and they said, why didn't you change to law? I said, they said I will lose 1 year. He said, you've lost 3 years already. What is it? And by the way, the reason our parents want us to do well then didn't occur to me. For me, at that time, anytime my dad said, you have to do this, and I wonder, was it like she said, what is people stressing me? But you know what? Now, I try to do the same thing for my children. Imagine, my first son came one day after school and said, Daddy, I need something to discuss with you. I said, what? He said, you know, I like music. I said, He said, I said, you want to sing? He said, no, I know something better. I said, okay, you want to own a record label or something? He said, no, I want to be a DJ. I said, for where? DJ how? He said, you've not seen my mix, you've not seen my beats. I make beats, Then one day, I thought he was listening to something. Then he brought he said, they listen to this. I put it in my head. I was hearing, I said, He said, I just make that beat now. I said, if I beat you. So it now occurred to me what my parents were trying to do at the time. They were trying to choose a career for me. And most of the things my dad taught me came home. And so if you have a Bible, I need you to write this down. The reason you need a job. The reasons why you need a job. 1, to put a shelter over your head. 2, to put food on your table. 3, to make you live longer. And then I will explain that make you live longer, and then we'll go to the 4th one. To make you live longer is a directive in the Bible that if you take care of your parents, your days on earth will be longer. So the reason why you need to get a job is so that you become the retirement plan of your parents. So you are like their pensions fund. So they take care of you now. When they retire, you will take care of them. That's why you need a job. The fourth one is that to take care of your future. And in taking care of your future, it is you taking care of your own children. Do you understand that? Because when you now work and make money and take care of your children and raise them properly, in the future you would also have now prepared your own pension plan, so that when they too now start working, because if you don't take care of them by getting a good job, when the time comes and you retire, you will still be taking care of them. The other one is job satisfaction. There's a dignity of labor, job satisfaction that comes with getting a good job. And then the ability to be of help to a lot of people. If you are jobless, you are helpless, because nobody can run to you to help them. They actually run away when you don't have a job. They run away. Now, there's a part that is really very important: to have fame, recognition, and honor. Like a proverb in my place, they said, it's the man that does not have work that they call to come and kill goat. You know, the man just bought this goat and they want to kill it. When he comes out to the compound, Ufoma, he go walk. Okemute, he go walk. Ese, he go walk. Ejiro, sir, come hold this goat. Because you are jobless. So what you need to do is be employed, and to be employed you need to look employable. And then the last one is that you need to have a job and a career, so that when you meet your maker finally, you'll be able to say, all the talents and everything you put in me were well used. And that comes from the parable of the talent. Because you would finally meet your maker and account for the things that you do. By the way, there's also something tied to that, which means you must get a good job that helps humanity. Because you cannot get to meet your maker later and say, open the gate, I want to enter. They say, what did you do? You say, I was a murderer. I was an assassin. I was a thug. I was a prostitute. I was a smuggler. So it is not possible to meet your maker with those credentials. That is why you need a good job. And then, how do you now get a good job? You have to prepare yourself. It's just a shame that in our country today, one of the biggest foundations, in fact the most important foundation for people to make it, is not implanted in our children. Education. How to read, write, and comprehend. How to read, write, and comprehend. They don't teach us how to. In fact, back then, calligraphy was something that my dad is a calligrapher, and that means that he likes to write. For somebody who studied classics and Latin, he would tell me to write something, and then I'll write it, and he will say, this is scattering, you know. You need to get, your handwriting is not, it doesn't interest me to read what you're writing. And he finally told me, he said, when your handwriting is nice, it means that your handwriting is connected to the part of your brain where the thoughts come from. So as you are writing, it just flows, because you need to take time out to write. Some people don't write. You know, as I said, write this down. Some people are typing it down because they can't. The writing is like signature. I've seen something, you know, as an MC, some people will write something and say you should announce. Somebody has written something to me before to announce. I looked at it like this and gave the person the mic to announce it himself. Your handwriting has to be good. And so the basic things in the life of a child growing up is reading, writing, and comprehension. There's no subject that is, well, the subjects that you need to move on in life are not written in your local dialects. So if you get a question paper in SS2 in Abuja, that is the same question paper a student in SS2 in Duse, in Aganebode, in Patani, that is the same question paper that they will get. And so if the question says question number 1A and B, compulsory, if the person does not know the meaning of compulsory, he would answer 1A and B. He will look for the two simple ones, number 6, number 7. Answer those ones first. And then they said, and one more, because they said answer question 1A and B and one more. So he answers these two and looks for another one that is not part of 1A and B. You know what? 1A and B, because it's compulsory, is 50, 60 marks. Then the other two are 20 marks. Then he makes the mistake of failing to do that one and then does this one. And the fact that you even didn't do 1A and B, the person first removes 60 marks over 100. So you are answering your question based on 40 just because you can't read. There's some people to even write their names is a big problem because they don't know how to read from when they're young. Fortunately, because of my dad's ability, or because of his foray into teaching back then, I started reading and writing at age 3. My daughter, the smallest one, when she turned 4, could speak English well, could write, and could read. And then my cousin came to spend holidays with us in Lagos. And so my daughter would be watching Lion King, and she'll be discussing with some other children. My cousin would come and say, "Bros, now, see where these children, they speak English, like say, that's so they bond them." I said, you know, it's this cartoon and all this. Bros, now, the boy is in GSS 3, can't speak. And when you tell him to write, because he told me he wanted to go back to school, I said, yes, just write out the things you need and why you need them. So he was supposed to go back on a Wednesday. Thursday he was still around. Friday he was still around. Then Saturday evening he came and said, "Bros, just give me money, you know, just give me money. I don't know if you write anything, just give me money." And so I said, sit down here, just write. The mathematical set, he wrote math set, MATSET, math set. So I said, but that's not how they write it. He said, "Bros, I know where then they sell them. I go buy and just give me the money." But you know why all of this is funny? It is because this same kind of person cannot even be curious enough to want to even go further in education. And this is the same thing that they do to all the northerners. This is what they do to all of them, all the children. If you go to Niger Delta, most of these people that are ready to burn down one place are people who are not educated. I'll give you an example. If you are educated and got a good degree and you are working and you are in the bank, and then one guy that is not educated comes to the bank in Port Harcourt and says, "You didn't work today? I bet tomorrow we go bust pipeline." You say, "Which pipeline?" He said, "The one for Okigure." He said, "You and who?" He said, "All of us don't gather, we go." Then you are thinking of your work, you have, and you are planning to become CBN governor. You say, "I bet Mona go come on, I'm busy." Because these people, and then if somebody comes to you and says, "Just give me your vote," you would think about it. So what are you offering? Who you help? But if the guy has nothing to offer, then it is clear to you. But the thing is, it can only be clear to you when you understand. So the plan is, don't even make them understand. Because think about it. Back in the days, when you fail, they make you repeat. But let me give you the dynamics of what is happening in the Nigerian educational system. They have 32 people in a class. All of them pay school fees. And the exams come. They promote all 32. So that new 32 can come in. Because if 7 people fail in that 32, and you make them repeat, then you will have a backlog. So if you take 32 more people, you have to create space for the 7 that repeated. And so if again you do the exam and another 7 fail, and the 7 before didn't pass because they were not properly prepared, then you have 14 people. Then you bring 32 more people. So what they do is, next class, promoted on trial, next class, and then they ship all of them out. And what happens is that because these people want to pass by all means and just live there and get into the university and do the same thing, they look for any means. Fawemi's son went to visit somebody because he's in a wheelchair. Went to visit somebody in Lut. And so as he was about coming out, he passed a place where they were writing exams. And he saw medical students opening textbooks and copying. And this is somebody who has medical condition. And then he saw medical students copying. He will graduate and become a doctor and open your kidney. I didn't say open my kidney, open your kidney. And when he's done, he will sew everything back, and then it is when they are sitting, he will now say, where's my second hand glove? They say hand glove. He says it's only one. How can I do operation with one? Then they will see the guy coming saying, I have stomachache. My hand glove is with that guy, sha. So they have to open him up again and remove the hand glove. I'll give you a simple example again, and this is close to home. The kind of education we have is the biggest problem that we have in our country. I just thank God. I thank God that we had people like Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, who were educated enough to speak with the whites to know that we needed freedom. If it's all these people that pad everything, all they just needed to do was tell the white man, we want freedom, and the white man says, we'll give you 2 houses in Ikoyi. Rankadede. Just go on, my people will understand. But all those people who fought for our freedom based on the education that they already had. Please, when we are doing this kind of thing, it's nice for our phones to be up. I hope all your phones are off. So that, and then children too, switch them off. Switch the children off, these children. They're off now, yes. Because, is that a child or a ringtone? I remember one lecture that I went to give somewhere, and one woman brought her child. And I said, I am a very hard-working Nigerian. And the child said, I said, please take this child out, and I don't let this child be burning my cable like this. Now, back to what I was saying. It's important for you to develop yourself. I'll give you a good example. Some of the people that became kings did not only learn to show their talent from time. I'll give you an example again. It's a story of Joseph. Joseph was just a dreamer. He was a dreamer, but when the brothers saw that his star was shining too much, they tried to shine him, and they put him in a well. They put him in a well because the plan was nobody would go there and see him. So if you want to become somebody that should be seen, you have to be a place people will go to. Because when they put him in a dried well, the plan was nobody goes to a dried well. You need to understand that if you do not improve yourself and make yourself somebody with value, you become a dry well. Which is why nobody was thinking, they were thinking nobody will go there to go and find him. So you can hide things in a dry well, because that's what it is, it's dry. The only reason people will come to you is when you are fertile and you have water that people can fetch from. These days, a lot of people have dreams and ideas, but they are waiting for people to come and find out. Can you imagine if I was waiting for government to come and develop stand-up comedy? Vision 2010. You know why I'm saying that is a lot of people now think federal government had plans for artists. They didn't. National Theatre was not a plan to grow art, because that's the only representation that will say, oh, government had plans for arts and culture. And no, it was because in 1972-73 the world has said, since you people want to stay as military, you are now somebody we do not want to relate with. And the African military men decided, if that is it, then go now, we'll develop in Africa. And they started to invite people to come to Nigeria to celebrate African culture, just to get PR. And they said, what should we do to get PR? They said, let's build National Theatre. And people came and built the National Theatre. Immediately after the people came, by the way, there was a lot of money that went into that. And it was not even, the fact was that they just saw this swamp. We'll build it here. It's the center of town. They said, okay, what is the design? If it was really a plan to develop arts and culture, the shape of National Theatre would have been a talking drum, a calabash, or something that has to do with the art. A cowrie, if it was culture. It was a military hat, because they did not have plans for you. So most times now when I talk to youths, I tell you, don't wait for government to. If you are waiting for government to come and do things for you, you will go grey. Now government is proud of Wizkid, they're proud of Two-Face, they're proud of Alibaba, they're proud of Basket Mouse, they're proud of did government make us? No. You have to do something for yourself. These days you see a lot of youth begging, not for what to do, but money. Every day when I go to my DM and my inbox, you see I can't pay my school fees, I need this, I can't do my this. Let me give you why I do not assist those people. Because now Alibaba has a lot of money. Abi, let me bring it home. I worked in a bakery, age 14. I loaded drinks in Super Brew. Super Brew was they were the people making Skol lager beer, and we throw cartons. They pay you 5 naira if the cartons are to be offloaded. That means they are empty bottles. And then they pay you 8 naira if it is the ones that have drinks, because they're heavy to throw. I'd worked as a conductor from Ring Road to Obazu. I'd worked as a DJ. I'd done sand loading. You go dig sand inside water. When you dig the shovel in, because the place is waterlogged, you will hear and watered sand, that's sand that you get from where is marshy, is heavier to throw than dry sand. And we'll load a tipper for 12 naira, and 5 of us that loaded it will share. I've slept at Bar Beach for like 3 years while I was struggling to make it in Lagos. I'd squatted with people. I designed cards, I draw, I painted. I worked as a salesman in Lagos. But the only thing that people get to see is Alibaba, where you make. Sometimes I see this happen. You see a full-grown man holding a wheelchair and pushing somebody that has a bad leg. That's -2 in the Nigerian economy. It hasn't occurred to you. That means that those two people are not contributing anything. So the person that is sitting down in that place has an issue, first of all, because there are people who don't have legs in K2 that are making sandals. There's a guy in Maryland with one bad hand. He's selling newspapers and handkerchiefs. And then this same guy that does not, I have a comedian, Kenny Blind. He's blind. I have comedians that don't have legs. There are people who don't have legs, they have hands, they draw. There's a man that sells beans and foodstuff, ingredients and all that stuff in Surulere. Has one hand. So the kind of generation that we have now, that believe that every other person that has made it owes them, is annoying. We're all sitting down here now. One of you will start learning how to make cakes. Make the cake, then begin to grow, and then start doing things. Then the one that is waiting for somebody to come and invest in him will now say, I knew her when she started, oh. Now she has bought car. She's feeling like she's big. Nonsense. What were you doing? You find somebody, this I can't even explain. You find somebody, during holidays, there's a holiday. There's a guy that I met in Warri. During holidays, the boy goes to work in a car wash. Wash cars, clean the car, and then the people will now say, okay, look, I can't come tomorrow. There are 2 cars that I need to be, so a guy will come to the house and wash it and do it as PP, and then they'll give them 5,000, 10,000. The boy wants them. When it's time to go back to school, he doesn't even go to his parents. He pays his fees before school will resume. He will leave Warri to go to Abraka, pay his fees, and then come back. Then the boys that are with him will see him and say, boy, give us something now. So this is the one that is good for car wash. Your own is just to wait till things happen. There are comedians that I assist. I see your potentials. I see that you're good. I will assist you. What is it? House rent? I'll assist you. What is it? You need a car? I will assist you. What is it? You're planning a show and I see that you have potentials, and you must have potentials first. Then you see some that don't even have anything. As soon as you finish from an event and step out, they're like, Baba, your boys are here. I say, you senior me, you the Chris? You are older than me. You are standing at the gate and telling me your boys are here. Because the thing is that, and we have become a kind of people in this country that like to pity people that don't deserve it. We support the people that shouldn't be supported. How many people in this country have said, because our soldiers were dying, the people that did not give them money to fight, let's lock all of them. Now we're saying it's witch hunting. Because we like to celebrate what is not necessary. The people that are working hard, we won't give them money. If these boys that went to play in Olympics were PDP, APC committee members, they would have released their money like 5 years ago. In fact, Dasuki will give them 2 billion. Make sure that everything works well. But you know, we've gradually become the kind of people that expect everybody to help us. I was telling Shagwadini, I said, I will come and talk, but the thing is that I'm not very happy with the youth. We encourage them. See, some of the youths in Lagos can attend 14 seminars. They will attend 14 seminars. Every seminar you hear, they will come, they will write notes. When you finish and you are going, you say, Baba, anything for the boys, just. And you are looking at the guy, he's complete. And then I tell him, I said, do you know that I used to wash cars? They say, Baba, just find something for us. What is the story? One of them stopped me once at Muson and said he was going somewhere, he didn't have money, that's why he came. When he heard that I was going to be there, he needs me to. And I said, he's staying somewhere far, first tack. I said, okay, just come with me. Let's get somewhere first, then I will drop you and give you something. So I drove to Babich. There's a guy there called Lati Kekere. He used to rent the place that I was sleeping at. So we drove there and I said, where Lati? They said, Lati went down there, so I called him. Lati came. I said, Lati, tell this boy where I used to stay when I came to Lagos. Lati, I mean, landlord man, I'm his landlord. Babich. He used to take one room every night. He doesn't pay complete. He will pay small, but you know he will pay. That's my guy. I told the guy, I said, you see, I used to sleep at the Babich. I didn't have a place to keep my box. I kept it with the washerman. So when I wear the cloth today and I have my bath at Babich, I'll go to the washerman's place, remove that one, and take another one from his box, from my box. The attitude that we all have of waiting for somebody to come and do something for us. But right now, it's just so sad that I cannot know all your faces one after the other. But I expect that after this presentation that we've done today, there's none of you that should not be inspired. None. There's none of you that should go back to their parents and say, there are car washes around. There are people who want to work as a restaurant hands. Okay, you go to KFC, you see some of the boys there. I met somebody in KFC that has a degree. And we're talking and the guy said, bros, if you guys have any opening for PR person, I do. I said, PR how? He said he read PR. Public relations, he said yes. I said, so why are you here? He said, that he's been working, that they laid him off from one job and then he couldn't wait to say, so before he gets the other job, and he has a family, so he's doing this one now. And it's something small, 60, 70K, but and then he gets tips. And I said, that's okay. Then I went to play football Saturday morning. As we were about to finish, I wanted to enter my car. One guy comes and says, bros, anything for me today? I said, you know KFC? He said, yes. I said, go there, ask for Goke. He said, go give me money. I said, just go ask for Goke. Bros, that place far, just give me what you want, give me now. I said, no. I said, the guy is a graduate. He's working in KFC. The guy said, guys, is that what you wish me? I'm telling you. Is that what you wish me, to go work in KFC? No, that's not what I wish you. Sorry. Go take job for CBN now. Only. See, let's just get some things clear. You must first of all admit to yourself. First of all, admit to yourself that you must not be a failure. Write it down. I must not be a failure. Write it down. I must not be a failure. Because your success is what some other person is waiting for to make it. I live by a golden rule, and this is that if your success does not make any other person successful, you have failed. There are some people's businesses now that turned around because Glo made it possible. I know a guy who resigned from his company as an oil staff and has the biggest network card selling business in Warri. You need to be the person that is responsible for some other people's success. Because when you start, like the guy that wants to be an entrepreneur, when you start being an entrepreneur, you provide bigger platform for some other people. But if you fail to do that, maybe there's somebody that is waiting for you. we need to get to the point where we are not the part of the 5 that went to look for extra oil. Be part of the 5 that came with extra oil. You get to an office, they ask you for this, you say yes, I'm ready. They get to you say yes, because you have to be prepared for that. I'll stop now. And did they put questions out for me? Okay, well, the questions. Well, okay. This person says, what is the difference between a job and a career? Well, you have your job, or you go into a career. Do you get me? You have your job, and then you go into a career. For instance, you get a job as a newscaster. Your career is in broadcasting. You join the army as a soldier. Your career is in the army, in the military. You become a lawyer, then you can now begin to pursue your career as either a corporate lawyer or criminal or constitutional lawyer or something. But the thing is that you first get that thing that defines you, and then you apply it to the career. When did you discover that you have a gift for of comedy, and were your parents supportive? First of all, when I told my dad that I was not going to read law, that my dad and I did not talk for like 10 years. Yes, because every Roboman expects their son to become a lawyer because of land cases that they have not resolved back home. So the plan is just first read law, then when you come, the first way to show that you have read law is to win that case that the Ejanakpo say that is their land. And so when he knew that I was not going to read law, we had real issues and we parted ways. The only reason my dad, because then Ibori, who was the governor at the time, goes to the palace. And when they get to the palace, by the way, that's where the Hebrews are from. When he gets to the palace, he will greet my dad and greet everybody. And Ibori will say, Ali Baba is doing very well. My dad will say, I don't have a son called Ali Baba. My son is at Toyota, hallelujah. So if he decides to call himself Ali Baba, that's his own problem. But with time, the SSG at the time that now became the governor, Udwaga, now tried to mediate, and then I went home one time and I bought an S-Class. Drove home. So I parked. When the thing had been sorted a bit, he would see me, but you still know that cold blood was still there. So when I was leaving that day, as we entered the other cars, we were about leaving, my dad now said, hey, una no carry this on a motorway there. And I said, no, daddy, the S-Class now your own. My dad said, Ali Baba. Yeah? All right, this one says, why did you decide to become a comedian? And then, why don't you want your son to be a DJ? And then, when musicians can use his beats and he can get paid a lot of money, weren't you a DJ? Let me place this properly. Like I told you, the dynamics for my dad for wanting me to be a lawyer are clear. My dad did not want me to be his responsibility when I grew up, and did not want to now take care of my own children and bear the same responsibility. So my dad also believed that if I became a lawyer and I had a good job, then he would sit back and benefit from all of that. Like I told you, it's a pension plan. It's a pension plan. But then, if my son now says he wants to be a DJ, I know Jimmy Jad has done a lot for the DJs in Nigeria. DJs are earning a lot more. But for me, I still believe that education is key. Get your first degree, do whatever you want to do. Because once you get the first degree and you go to DJ, if you not work, you find something else and you do. Then you have that basic education. And good day, sir. Can I become a medical doctor and also become a comedian? How can I have potentials? Anyway, you already have potentials. It's tapping into those potentials that you need to do. Everybody here has potentials. Okay, let me give you a bit. You speak English, Abi? Those of you who can speak English, raise your hand. So you can be a newscaster. You can be a reporter. You can be a journalist. You can be a poet. All you just need is to activate that potential. And then yes, you can be a medical doctor and also be a comedian, because there are medical doctors now who are event planners, who are musicians. Dr. Seed is a dentist and is a musician. There's a woman who's a lawyer, but she's an event planner, Yewande Zacchaeus. She's a lawyer. There's a guy who's a medical doctor, Dr. Henry Zeku. He's one of the top-rated MCs in Nigeria here, and he's also an event planner. He has a communication outfit and a PR outfit as well. All right? Good morning, sir. Who is your mentor? You see, this is a very important part for most of you. I do not mind. Some people see me and say, why are you encouraging this boy to speak with the band, or speak with Burna Boy, or speak with it? Don't you know they have behaviors that are not nice? This is what I advise. Anything somebody knows how to do, take the good ones. Anything, because you have friends. If the friend likes to smoke Igbo, does it mean you have to go smoke Igbo? No. So if you meet somebody that does something nice and does something good that you can imitate the good one. Make sure that the person does not influence you, which is the peer pressure they were talking about. Make sure the person does not influence you to do what is wrong. Because as they say in Japanese, what is not good is very, very bad. Alright. Yeah, because I can't speak the Japanese. Something like sir, is being funny a gift, or it is just being creative? Alright, now, being funny is serious business, first of all. It is something that you discover as you relate with people. People will tell you, oh, you're funny. Oh, that thing you said is funny. Oh, you know, really, it's funny. I have 1 million friends who now people want to even introduce their children to me to groom. I mean, billionaires. One of them has a big bank. Called me once and said, Ali, I'd like to see you on Saturday. I said, yes, I dressed in the best outfit. I thought I had an event. When I got there, we finished eating. He said, hey, I want to introduce you to my son. Go upstairs, call Kola. They called the boy. He said, hey, that's him. He wants to be a comedian. I said, hey. I said, but has he gotten his... he said, well, he's doing A levels now, but he wants to be a comedian. I said, what do you think? Let him be a comedian. I said, hey, why? Am I not the one that pays you? Don't I know how much you charge? Now, the reason why they want him to be a comedian is because they see that the industry has grown. If it were like the days that I told my dad that I wanted to be a comedian, my dad sat me in the parlor and said, this is 1985, 86. You want to be a comedian? I said, yes. He said, like who? Now, see, this is serious. Slow down. Don't laugh at my career. This is serious. I was trying to sell myself to my dad because the comedians that came to my head, my dad and my uncle were laughing. They said, like who? I said, Jaguar. My dad said, Jaguar. I said, yes. Like who again? I said, Samanja. My uncle was on the floor. My uncle said, Samanja. I said, yes. Like who again? Then I said, Papi Lue. My dad said, then my uncle managed and said, like Nazi in New Masquerade, have you? Now, all of these people that they mentioned, to me at that time, had a good job. But they were not earning well. The first time I told the man in Nigerian Security and Exchange Commission that my fee was 7,000 naira in 1990. By the way, in 1990, there were some big men in civil service. Their salary was 12K a month, and a big man. There was another person. The man said, "You're 7,000 for what?" I said, "Comedy." He said, "When you are going, Hausa man, when you are going, don't close the door." I said, "You won't negotiate." Say, "Don't worry, come on, get out." But guess what? Another year or two, I did something for Nigerian Reinsurance. And while I was there, somebody called me and said, one of our guys wants to see you. Now he has become an assistant director. So I went to him and said, good day, sir. He said, you don't remember me? I said, no, sir. He said, I was with Security and Exchange Commission, but now I'm with Ministry of Finance. You're doing very well. I remember when you came to my office, you remember the exchange? I said, I remember the exchange, sir. When you said that, he said, well, when I asked the organizers how much they pay you now, I said, I should have resigned and joined you. Even Obasanjo, this is the top achievement that I've made in my career. Obasanjo was a president. He had just come from prison. So all the time that I was doing my stuff and growing from 1991 to 1999, he was in prison. So Bode George called me and said, Ali, we need you to do birthday party for Mr. President in Aso Rock. I was ready to do it for free. So they flew me in a private jet that carried all of us from the first time to enter a private jet. When we landed Abuja and we got to the villa, they were in church, so we went to the venue. Donyo Okupe was SS protocol or something like that, advisor. And so it was Donyo Okupe that had to introduce me, press, media. So Baba was sitting down, Bola Ige was there, Theophilus Danjuma was on this side, Audu Ogbe was on the other side. And they brought me in. So before I came on, Stella had not come. Stella had gone to do something with the women, Stella Obasanjo. And so Baba was there. They now brought me on stage. I started entertaining. Baba was laughing. And when Baba is laughing, anybody sitting to his right and to his left is in trouble. That was why Theophilus Danjuma was going for medical checkup all the time. Man nearly killed the poor man. You see how strong he is now after he left government, because Obasanjo nearly killed him, slap his glasses for. Now, but the only person he really didn't like slapping was Bola Ige. Bola Ige, don't forget, was in AD. And so when Baba laughed and slapped Bola Ige, Bola Ige will laugh too and give Baba. So when Baba raised his hand and sees Bola Ige, he will slap Danjuma. Anyway, well, that's just the joke part, okay? So now, then the time came to entertain Baba. But coming from a barrack boy, I knew the dynamics and the representations of the military. I first got there, I saluted him because I went to NDA. My dad was in Nigerian Army Education Corps. So 1980, I went to NDA. I failed deliberately. They said, can you do this? I said, yes. National anthem, I didn't know it. What are the ranks of the military? I put police inside army. Put army inside navy. They said, no, this boy, you don't know anything about the military. They said, hey, what is formation? I say, I don't know, maybe it's a soap. They said, no, this one can't join army. This one will go and shoot our. And so I was let go. My dad said, you are a fraud. That was what my dad told me. You are a fraud. Because, like I told you, I started reading. How many of you knew that Nigeria used to have Reader's Digest? Nigerian Reader's Digest. Nigerian Reader's Digest. Back in the 70s, 71, 70, up to 1986 when they stopped. It was by Daily Times. They got the license and they were making the Nigerian Reader's Digest. So I used to read all of that. National Geographic, and then the Foreign Reader's Digest. My dad used to buy them for me. I didn't read Mills and Boons. I read Harold Robbins, James Andy Chase, and Agatha Christie. So my upbringing, most of the time when I sit with my colleagues and we're talking, I'm on a different level. So that is what you're supposed to do. Get on a different level so that your edge over every other person is clear. Now, I finished entertaining, and so I finished entertaining Baba. Baba was very impressed. Then, when Baba found out how much I got paid for coming to crack jokes, You see the way all of you went quiet? Because he went into the prayer and saw the man from Aneni. They were having a meeting. And Baba saw them. How are you people? Well done. And you know Baba is very curious. Okay. Okay, Sonny will play. Okay. Ali Baba. 1 million. Ali Baba, 1 million. What is he doing? They said he's going to be the MC and he's going to be the comedian. Comedians. Yeah. And this was when the Mozambican, wherever like Africa, they were trying to change from Organization of African Union to AU. And all of them came. You know, Baba does not walk straight. You know, he doesn't walk like Clinton or like Jonathan. No, Baba walks like that man in 36 Wonderful Souls. And so, Baba was walking in front, the Mozambican head of state, the Ghanaian head of state, Mbeki, all of them were in tow. And the Mozambican head of state was right behind him. Now, Baba was walking and I was on the podium. The podium was up like here. And Baba was coming like this at the conference center. Baba stopped and looked at me. Ali Baba, ole ooh, ole ooh. The Mozambican head of state that was behind him thought it was a form of greeting. And he too went Ali Baba, ole ooh. I want people here. But you know, I was on the podium and I turned to Ike Nandagoba. Like, Ike Nanda said, because Uncle Ike Nanda knows, once you give me like that, I'll look for something and just package it and give to you quietly on national television that will never be forgotten, you know. So, and so Uncle Ike, when I talked to him like, should I make a go? Uncle Ike said no. So I left because that was one of my teachers. The thing is that beyond having mentors, like Ike now was a broadcaster to the core. Learn from your mentors. Okay, I think this will be the last question. How can I discover my dreams? But before you discover your dreams, you need to check your spellings. Dreams is D-E. Wait. Dreams is D-E-A-R-M-S. No. Dreams is D-R-E-A-M-S. So the thing is, you need to check your spelling, so that you don't have hallucination instead of. Okay, now, but beautiful handwriting anyway. Now, to discover your dreams, know what you can do. First thing is self-assessment. I'll give you a simple thing. If you are, listen, if you are over 100 kg, there is no way you can beat Usain Bolt. Because even people who are below 80 kg can beat him. If you are a stammerer, there's no way you will read the network news. It's not going to happen. So unless you cure the stuttering, there's no way, because nobody is going to sit there and you say, good evening. Welcome to the network news. My name is Dan Ladi. They will go to another channel. So what I'm trying to say is that for you to finally achieve your dreams, assess yourself. What are the things that you know how to do? Some of you should be bloggers because your gossip, nobody can meet it. Some of you have abilities to be photographers. Now, I'm a photographer. I started being a photographer from 1982-83. It wasn't paying. But my cameras and everything I still have them. So most of the time when I bring my cameras out, my children will be like, Daddy, this is old school. I say, look at you. I can still take pictures with this thing, blow it up in a dark room, and it will blow your mind. Now, all you need to do first is make sure you develop yourself and those things that you know you have as talents. They're called potentials, those things inside you. For instance, if you know how to run, you're very fast, you know how to run, begin to learn speed, or whether you can become an athlete long job. I go home every now and then I got home one day. My dad brought a certificate. I said, do you remember when you got this from Hebrew College? I said, yes sir. I had a gold. I won gold in javelin. That's why I know how to throw javis. I got gold in javelin, and I'm still like the fastest in my parents' race because I used to run. I could do 12.2, 12.3 in the 100 meters, and that was back then, and it's good. But now I do 50 meters race. I beat all the parents in St. Xavier's School. If you know anybody in St. Xavier's School, just tell them I live about. They say it's fast. Sometimes when I come to run, they'll tell me, say, sit down. You are not. Because you have to develop your talent. You know how to sing. By the way, whatever talent you have, until you convert the talent to a service, until you convert that talent that you have to a service, nobody will use it. All right? Okay. I understand it's time up. And the other thing is, most of all these questions, send them to Uncle Adeni or to the church, and then they can pass them on to you, and I can reply personally. Plus the questions, Auntie would give you guys maybe her email, or you send them to Sheikh Adeni, and then they can pass them on to us so that we can talk. God bless you.